talking about.
Remy Ma has finally spoke and said, "This Jasmine go."
Never cheated on nobody, so I don't know what y'all talking about.
One more time.
Never cheated on nobody, so I don't know what y'all talking about.
Well, at least you.
About the situation between Papoose and Remy Ma.
They both cool with me. Like I knew Papoose for years, over 15 years. Knew Remy for over 15 years. So I
told y'all that Remy Ma and Papoose are done. I told y'all that Papoose put hairs on that little boy she messed with.
No, you ain't this corny. Remy, you must need blood if you say he your type.
Like, oh my God, I hope they don't find out about this.
This is completely crazy. Papoose and Remy Ma's depiction of black love in its purest form in Once Upon a Time persuaded us that fairy tales do exist. Papoose was supportive and encouraging to his wife during her 6-year prison sentence, much like a movie character. Before we begin, Papoose made it clear that whether he appeared on stage or in an interview, Remy Ma was his queen, leaving everyone yelling for their unending love. Congrats to everyone who would listen. He even got married to her while she was still behind bars. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and press the notification bell for more updates like this one. Things are moving quickly though, because their once ideal love story is now falling apart, so prepare for some unpleasant moments.
Easy to Papoose now that he don't talk as much as they talked on the stage.
Cool.
Yes.
His third was the blog.
Very reputable source that Papoose and this guy got into a real bad where he almost knocked out the teeth that should have fell out and was falling out on this guy because his teeth was really bad.
nobody wins with the family feuds. Don't ask me no questions about Remy and Papoose.
You heard it. Why you asking me questions?
How many
about
times? I'm
Remy
not
and
asking about that. I just want to know how many times have people asked you about that when you had to put that in the song?
A lot. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, family, friends, this, that. And I can't tell you. Don't ask no questions about Remy Papoose. It's real. Plus, I don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing because you don't ask.
No, I just don't know nothing.
Talking about fighting. Sometimes people be needing hands put on them, though. And I love boxing. It's one of my favorite sports. I just never could do it. Because it goes right back into that other category when I was telling y'all. As soon as I feel like you get one hit, sometimes people be needing hands put on them, though. And I love boxing. It's one of my favorite sports.
The accusations made against the battle rapper and Rema are baseless. For months, there have been rumors that the captain had an affair with Papoose, and trust me, they are serious, Ian. But given how people are, her reaction, which involved going over each letter and looking for clues in every word, didn't exactly persuade the internet that everything would eventually go viral.
Sometimes people need to fight it out. Because talking doesn't do it. Sometimes you can talk. Like in this certain situations, you could talk to a person, you express how you feel, they express how they feel, y'all come to a mutual agreement that y'all either don't agree or, you might start seeing it from another person's point of view. When it gets to the level, or when you deal with people that, like, sometimes how I used to be, I don't even want to hear that. I don't give a fuck how you feel. I don't care what you thought.
Let's just say that things didn't go as planned when Papoose and Remy Ma eventually met at an industry event. According to reports, the two got into a heated argument, and Papoose chose to use his fist to speak before anybody else could intervene. Rumor has it that the block captain was knocked out and fell to the ground. It's known as handling business. Remy Ma was criticized for getting into a heated argument with Papa's wife, and let's face it, nobody was benefiting from the controversy. However, this drama was more than simply a quarrel since the rap community was rocked by rumors that Remy had grown close to the block captain, as a result of his supposed affair. Although having another rapper was bad news, it didn't last long, much like her connection with the block captain, and it became evident that the rifts in her relationship with Papoose were becoming too great to overlook. The criticism took a toll on Remy, and her loyal admirers began to view her in a whole new way. Chose to remain silent while the whispers went on, but his deeds shouted louder than words. He started to gradually distance himself from Remy Ma, and before anyone could tell, he had found another partner. The best part is that Papoose now appears to be happier, which is where things start to get heated. However, his new girlfriend isn't your typical woman. She's as Papoose was unmatched in his dedication to Remy Ma during her lowest points. He married her over the phone while she was in prison and stayed true to her for 6 years. Yes, you read correctly. She is a professional boxer with the ability to throw hands, but his followers are rooting for him in this new phase. Remember why this circumstance feels so burdensome. After years of her husband always prioritizing her, even when she didn't seem to appreciate it, Papoose handed Dee his old one when she was freed so they could start over. The gravity of the issue is increased by that degree of commitment. It seems like Papoose has finally had enough, and regardless of what the streets may believe, one thing is certain: Papoose has completed this chapter and is prepared to concentrate on himself following Remy Ma's release from jail. In hip-hop, Papoose proudly carried the moniker Black Love and was the embodiment of loyalty. As a result, Papoose and the people who supported and believed in their romance feel betrayed by Remy Ma's suspected infidelity with a member of their joint company. Black Love's romanticized depiction has been broken, and a lot of people now have a foul taste in their mouths. The tale of love between Papoose and Remy Ma has always captured the hearts of many. Fans love Papoose for being a devoted husband who stood by his wife through everything and waited for her to return, and he became the embodiment of fidelity from the time Remy Ma was incarcerated. They were the ideal pair and the embodiment of Black love. Papoose was by Remy's side the entire time after her release from prison, and they were married. At first, their ties appeared to be indestructible, but as time passed, it became evident that true love is resilient enough to endure even the most difficult circumstances. Papoose publicly declared his love for Remy and declared her to be his queen when she was serving a 6-year prison sentence. When rumors began to circulate that Papoose had moved on, things took a drastic turn. The rumors surprised fans who had long appreciated his loyalty, but they were soon verified when Papoose was spotted out in public with a new woman. And not just any woman either. She had questions about what had happened. Were there problems in paradise? Or was Papo simply seeking something different? Arose as soon as the world found out that Papoose, who was once renowned for his unshakable love for Remy, was now in a new relationship. Remy's response to the information was, fans were divided as soon as the media saw the tension, which was still unknown. Things rapidly spiraled out of control after Remy Ma found out about Papoose's new connection. What stung was not simply the betrayal, but the public spectacle of it all. Remy, who has a reputation for being direct, did not mince words, and shortly after, a brawl broke out between Remy and Papoose's new girlfriend. Social media was ablaze with comments as fans and celebrities watched the drama play out. Angry and embarrassed, Remy vented her emotions on social media and in interviews. She responded candidly and didn't mince words when she criticized Papoose for his sudden change of heart. To her, it seemed like a complete. After the altercation between Remy and Papa's new girlfriend went viral, the internet turned into a battlefield for viewpoints. After all the years she had been incarcerated and the sacrifices she had made for her relationship, some fans who had once cherished Papoose and Remy as a pair believed that she had every right to move on. As the media began to cover every detail, scrutinizing every word and gesture from both sides, the situation only grew worse. Fans wrote about how the public seemed to be watching every move Papoose and Remy made. Some backed Remy because they thought her devotion and hardships should have been honored, shared their opinions on Instagram, and made jokes, and celebrities fueled the flames by commenting on the issue. In the midst of this public conflict, the new girlfriend also had to cope with the criticism. Initially, a lot of people were curious about her history and her feelings towards the heated scenario. The public clearly found it difficult to accept her part in the drama, and things only seemed to become worse. The woman's personal background appeared to run counter to Remy's gruff exterior. She defended herself on social media, claiming she had nothing to do with Papoose and Remy's falling out. Some viewed her as a homewrecker, while others felt sympathy for her. The more attention the argument between the two ladies received, the more complicated Papoose's position in the drama grew. His outward persona seemed to be inconsistent with his mental state. Had he moved on, or was he still in love with Remy? As the drama developed, it became evident that the fallout wasn't a one-time occurrence, even if Papoose had previously been the embodiment of unflinching dedication. Fans of his image were doubting his choices, asking if he had truly discovered something better or if his new relationship was the consequence of his problems with Remy. But now he was caught between two women, each vying for his loyalty and attention. As a result, love was no longer the only factor. She defended her honor during the tumultuous split and made it plain in interviews and public statements that she would not put up with Papoose's betrayal. She made sure everyone knew that she was both angry and heartbroken. Things were made much more challenging by the fact that their relationship was public and Remy was accustomed to. She exploited her position in the spotlight to voice her anguish and condemn Papoose's actions. But beyond the anger was a woman who had lost a piece of herself in the confusion. Was the couple's romance over, or could they possibly work things out? Supporters of Papoose and Remy were divided in the internet's reaction, which was a spectacle in and of itself. Every group took sides and posted their opinions in droves on social media. Some argued that love may fade over time, especially after years of separation, and supported Papoose's right to go on. Others took Remy's side, saying she didn't deserve to be publicly humiliated because she had always backed Papoose. The online discussion was heated and the subject had changed from Papoose and Remy to love, loyalty, treachery, and the price of celebrity, and everyone had an opinion. Once praised for their oneness, the pair was now the subject of contentious discussions and widely shared memes. The media was unable to keep up with the constant updates, interviews, and social media posts from both sides as the situation spiraled out of control. Papoose had to confront the repercussions of his behavior and determine whether his new relationship was worth the risk in the interim. The new girlfriend ended up in the center of the maelstrom as the days passed. The public was now closely watching what had begun as a private connection. How would she respond to the criticism? Would she make an effort to improve her reputation, or would she stay away from the drama entirely? Remy's reaction remained firm in the face of all of this. She was no longer the subdued wife who stood with Papoose, but rather the woman who was derided and demanded respect and justice. What will happen to Remy and Papoose next? Will their relationship ever be able to be repaired? Numerous admirers questioned his reasons and whether his choice was a response to the years of emotional stress he had experienced with Remy. Fans are left wondering if Papoose will return to his ex-partner or if his current relationship will be his future as the drama of his love triangle with Remy continues to unfold. Will Remy give up and focus on her personal and professional lives, or will she keep fighting for their love? 50 Cent's personal biography is as intense as his climb to stardom, which is not surprising for someone who fought his way to the top with unyielding desire. Few people are aware of the turmoil and grief that underlie his family life, despite the fact that he is widely recognized as a rap icon. Despite having 2 children, 50 Cent's family is complex. The story of 50 Cent is far more complex than it first appears. In 1996, his then-girlfriend, Sheena Tompkins, gave birth to his first son, Sire, and he focused all of his love and care on his younger son. His true name is Curtis Jackson, Mary's Jackson, his eldest son, and he have had a difficult connection. Everything seemed to be going smoothly when Maris was born, but the family link weakened along with their turbulent relationship. Tension between 50 and Maris had already started to rise after a lengthy and contentious custody battle, and by the time the matter was officially settled in 2008, 50's father-son relationship was barely surviving, based on their regular disagreements with. As he grew older, the mayor's admiration for his father changed to disappointment. When he was younger, the mayors adored him and thought he was a superhero, someone bigger than life. The connection between them had all but vanished by the time he was a teenager. Their communication became a procedure mediated by a faraway lawyer due to Tompkins and nasty court fights. non-existent, but in 2008, Mars was spotted in a photo with the son of Kenneth Supreme Griff, a person associated with one of 50 Cent's most dangerous enemies. This was the final straw. 50, who was severely impacted by this treachery, responded harshly on social media, saying that if Mares and McGriff's son were hit by a bus, he wouldn't feel a thing. It was a damning declaration that illustrated how both sides refused to give in to the criticism of his hurtful remark, and it had devolved into a twisted game. Those close to the family said that Mares regularly caused trouble by deliberately doing things that annoyed his father. To irritate him, he would post stuff online or hang out with individuals he didn't like, about giving Mares a lot more money than he had ever had as a youngster. But feeling that his son was not treating him with any respect, he talked about hatred, but also deep disappointment. Mars openly tried to get his father's attention in 2022 by making an offer of $6,700, the same sum that 50 had paid in a single day of his father's attention in exchange for monthly child support. Maris asserted that he only wanted to spend time with his father and that it had nothing to do with money. However, 50 turned down the offer, saying that he didn't think Mares was being honest and that money couldn't fix a disrespectful relationship. Thus, a real attempt to patch things up wouldn't happen on social media. Later on, Maris said that he had attempted to speak with his father in private, but difficulties as he lacked his father's phone number and was blocked on social media. Maris entered the music business, abandoning tracks and trying to build a career away from his father's shadow because he was determined to achieve despite the suffering. He was merely asking for an open, sincere discussion, not financial support. Cracks in the personal lives of even the most successful people can occasionally be key. Although 50 Cent's relationship with his younger son, Sire, seems closer, it has also been influenced by the challenges he has encountered throughout all of the ups and downs. Love, treachery, and the complexities that make family relationships so challenging to manage are all part of the 1950s family drama. 50 Cent and Daphne Joy welcomed their second baby, Sire, in September 2012. His relationship with his sire appears to be much closer than his turbulent relationship with his oldest son, Maris, although his mother, Daphne Joy, has not always been easy to get along with. Layers of suffering, happiness, and conflict are often hidden in deep family stories. In March 2024, Daphne accused 50 of mistreating her on social media, claiming that her heart was broken and that any faith she had in him as a parent had been destroyed. Although 50 Cent denied the charges, the public claims intensified their already strained relationship at a time when 50 was purportedly pursuing sole custody of her son. Their quarrel had already made headlines. In 2013, 50F was charged with domestic violence after a heated argument with Daphne turned violent, and he was accused of kicking her and hurting her. Daphne strongly denied any engagement in adult business, but these claims were no longer confined to courtrooms. Property: he was sentenced to 3 years of probation and community service despite entering a guilty plea to misdemeanor vandalism in order to avoid facing more serious penalties. This demonstrated unequivocally that their conflicts extended beyond tabloid gossip and had practical consequences. His legacy endures in spite of everything, especially when it comes to Sire. He made it clear in a recent interview that his youngest son would inherit his entire fortune, emphasizing that everything he has produced will pass to Sire. Fans praised his devotion to Sire, but many were concerned about what would happen to Mars, his firstborn son. One of the most enduring tales has been the battle between Mars and 50. Mars posted a photo of himself with the kid of Kenneth Supreme McGriff in 2018. McGriff is more than just a moniker to people who know the rapper's past. He's connected to a troubled time in his life. Seeing his son with the child of someone so closely connected to the 2000 shooting that nearly killed 50 people was a turning point in the 1950s, as McGriff was supposedly involved in the tragedy. 50 Cent's tense relationship with Maris looms left fans wondering if there is any potential for reconciliation, even as his laser-like focus on building a future for Sire looms in the backdrop. The biography of a guy influenced by both is hidden beneath the headlines and platinum albums. It was painfully evident from the icy remarks on the picture how severe their division had grown. His universe revolved around his mother, Sabrina Jackson, a hustler who was willing to go to any lengths to support her kid, even if it meant stepping into hazardous terrain inside their South Jamaica Queens realm. In addition to being a native of Queens, New York, Curtis Jackson was brought up by a single mother who fought tirelessly to provide him with a better life. She made her way in a world that didn't treat women like her, and her courage and grit earned her a reputation in her neighborhood. But there was a cost to being homeless, and Sabrina's life was cruelly ended in 1983. When Curtis's mother was drugged and abandoned, she was slain in what the authorities thought was a homicide when he was just 8 years old. Curtis's life was defined by the brutal and early death of his mother, but it also left scars that helped to mold the multifaceted man he is today. Her death is still unexplained and a mystery that has haunted 50 Cent's life for years. He set her flat on fire while she was unconscious. Although 50 Cent's life has always revolved around his family, there have been heartbreaks and challenges along the way. His mother, Sabrina Jackson, passed away when she was just 8 years old, leaving a scar that never fully healed. 50 Cent has discussed in interviews how her passing influenced him, remembering the information about how the one person who meant the world to him was tragically taken away from her by someone who placed something in her drink and switched on the gas. He admits that even as an adult, he would believe that if his mother were still living, things would be different. However, Sabrina was more than just his mother. She was a strong, direct lady who made sure her son, who is 50 years old, was ready for the tough world. He remembers her as firm but caring, always encouraging him to get up and move forward. Her advice to get up, "What are you crying for?" struck a chord with him and shaped his approach to overcoming life's challenges, both as a child and later as a world citizen. Fame, but following her passing,